Hi Ravens, it's Miss Rogers, and today we are going to have a quick review of parts of speech. Depending on if you include articles, there are 8 or 9 parts of speech in the English language, and those include nouns, pronouns, adjectives, adverbs, verbs, conjunctions, interjections, prepositions, and articles. Now, to some, we may say, what are parts of speech? And parts of speech is an easy classification of words. Just like we take the idea of humans and we break it down to boys and girls or males and females, and then we break it down even more based on hair color or height or weight, parts of speech is just the same idea. Even of a simpler definition might be anything that comes out of your mouth. Any word that is spoken out of your mouth is a part of speech and can be identified as one of the parts of speech. Parts of speech in any language, and especially in English, help us provide order. Along with that, they help us to become better readers, better writers, and they help learners of the language to comprehend it and to become better at studying the language and to understand it more easily as they continue to grasp the language. So let's look at each part of speech. First, let's look at nouns. A noun names a person, place, thing, or idea. If it names a person, place, or thing, a noun will be concrete. If it names an idea, it will be abstract. Common nouns include school or boy, desk, board. Proper nouns include STEM Academy, the name William or Miss Rogers. Let's look at pronouns. Pronouns take the place of a noun. He, she, it, they, them, you, we. They're all pronouns, and all they do is stand in for a noun. Pronouns refer back to a noun, and when it refers back to a noun, the noun that it's referring back to is called the antecedent. Again, the noun that a pronoun is referring back to is called the antecedent. If you were to replace my name, Miss Rogers, with a pronoun, you might say, she is recording the video, instead of saying, Miss Rogers is recording the video. Next for parts of speech are verbs. Verbs express action or a state of being. Run, jump, eat, swim, study, watch are all verbs, while am, is, are, was, were, be, being, and been are examples of the state of being side of verbs. Adjectives describe nouns. Adjectives include colors and numbers and answer questions such as what kind, how many, and which one. Old, young, skinny, large, round, flat, 1, 12 are all adjectives. We use adjectives to describe characters in writing and to make our writing come alive. Adverbs do the same for verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs that adjectives do for nouns. They help describe or modify them. An adverb actually tells you what it modifies in its name. If you take the word adverb and divide it down the middle, the AD stands for adjective, the VERB stands for verb, and if you draw a square around the entire word, remember it stands for adverb. An adverb describes or modifies a verb, adjective, or other adverb. Oftentimes, an adverb ends in an ly. Not always, so check yourself, but oftentimes it ends in an ly. Other very well-known adverbs include often and very. Another part of speech is a conjunction. Conjunctions are used to connect words, phrases, or clauses. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so, however, moreover, are all conjunctions. We use interjections to show surprise or emotion in our writing and speaking. Ow! Woohoo! Wow! Interjections may end with an exclamation point. You're having an exclamatory sentence, or an interjection may end with a comma and you may continue your sentence if it isn't an ecstatic emotion. Think about being at a sports game or watching an academic competition. We use so many interjections during that. Prepositions establish relationships between the noun and the rest of the sentence. In elementary school, you probably talked about the squirrel and the tree. The squirrel goes up the tree, the squirrel goes down the tree, the squirrel goes around the tree, the squirrel goes under the tree, the squirrel sits in the tree. Over, under, around, through, above are all examples of prepositions. If you don't like talking about the squirrel and the tree, think about a bucket and think about things going in the bucket and under the bucket and through the bucket, or think about your favorite animal and putting that animal in a barn and out of a barn and it running through the barn. There are many examples that you can use. When you take a preposition, a prepositional phrase is formed with a preposition. It starts with a preposition and it ends with the noun, and that noun is called the object of the preposition. Now, articles. Some grammarians include articles when they are talking about the parts of speech, and therefore we have 9. Other grammarians do not include the parts of speech. They include them in adjectives, and therefore we have 8. It will always be up for discussion, I guess. Articles are actually called article adjectives. There's only 3 in the English language. Articles identify that there's going to be a noun. Think of it as a red flag, as I drew on here, that there's a noun coming. If it helps you remember, you may use a little rhyme. There's only 3, just a, and the. A, and the only 3 articles in the English language. If you have any questions about the parts of speech, please email me at mary.rogers@sccpss.com or check out our classroom website at marogers.weebly.com. Go Ravens!